Hey guys, it's Melissa with Sunday Chats with Melissa. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday and welcome back to my channel. So today for this video, I'm going to kick it old school. And in old school, I'm talking about BareMinerals. BareMinerals. That was the first real makeup that I ever really wore. And it was the first time that I can recall that my skin felt better, that my skin looked better, and that I actually knew how to apply it. I mean, because prior to that, I was in the Mary Kay era. And then there was a couple other like home things, and then there was, some drugstore makeup and stuff like that, but there was really no instruction on how to apply it. I mean, let's face it, this was, I don't know, it was a long time ago. It was before YouTube, it was before social media and Instagram and all of that. So I have still all my BareMinerals, and I'm sure some of them have expiration dates, and some of them I've rebought. But a lot of it I have, and I'm still going to use it. They're minerals. So I'm going to start off with, do you guys remember this? Do you guys remember the full face brush that BareMinerals came out with to buff your foundation in? They had this, and they also had the flawless face brush. I like to use a kabuki brush because back then my skin was so bad, and I had so many it was a mess. I had blemishes and dark spots, and I had children and just all of that. So anyway, I got my old BareMinerals brushes out. I still have them. One of them I just took out of the package. So I have my old this was like going back to like good times. Okay. All right. So I have my flawless face brush. No, this is the soft focus face. All right. So back then I didn't know anything about primers. I didn't know anything about eyelid primers or any of that jazz. It's really that, I don't know. Maybe they were a thing. I just didn't know about it. But what we had for primers back in the BareMinerals days, and oh man, this is so, it's been around. Hold on. Put some mom spit on there and get that cleaned off. So it was the BareMinerals, it was the bisque. And I still use this bisque today. This is the summer bisque, and there's regular bisque. It was the best primer, and they suggested that you buff it on with, I don't know, it was some really like light, soft, nice little brush that you buffed it in. I needed a kabuki brush. I needed some dense bristles, and I needed to lay that stuff down. So I've already applied my moisturizer, and I'm going to go in with this summer bisque, and I'm just going to buff it in because that's how you do BareMinerals. You buff it in. So you buff it in anywhere where you have redness. You buffed it anywhere you needed some extra coverage, and you put it in the top like that, and you swirled it around in the lid. Can I get an amen from my BareMinerals girls? We used to sit around and watch TV and on QVC and watch them do this, and then we would talk about it. Like my girlfriends and I that did BareMinerals, they used to have like today's special values all the time, and we would be calling each other. I think it was before texting was real popular, and we would be like, are you getting the today's special value? And it was always a great buy. Like, I don't know, you just got everything you needed in a little kit, and then it would come on auto delivery, and it was so fun. And when we would get them, we would talk about them. It was so fun. That was back in the good old days. All right, so I'm just swirling some more in the lid, and Leslie Bodge used to say, you just only need a little. Okay, so I'm buffing this summer bisque in, and I don't know if it was meant for this, but for me, it was great for blemishes. If I had a breakout, and still today, that's what I use the bisque for, even though I don't use my BareMinerals all the time anymore. Look at that. Look at that coverage. Come on. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. Okay. All right. All right. So after you buffed on your bisque, which was your primer back in the old days, you would buff on your Bare Minerals powder. And my go-to powder, my color for as long as I can remember was medium beige. That was me. That's where I was hanging. If the Today's Special Value came out and you had to pick your foundation color, I was sitting on medium beige. That's what I was doing. So you did the same thing with that. You just add a little bit into the lid. And I'm going to take this Bare Minerals, this full focus brush, and I'm just going to swirl it around in the lid. And I remember during this era thinking I was so proud of myself because I actually knew how to put my makeup on and I didn't have to worry about a mask. Remember when we first started wearing mascara back in the day? And you had to worry about that mask right here? You didn't have to worry about that because you just buff this right on in. You just buff this right on in. There was no mask. You didn't have to worry about a mask. Okay. All right. And there you had it. There you had it. You had your foundation, you had your primer on, and then there's also a mineral veil. And I still use the mineral veil. I think I have it in here with my powders. Can y'all go do that somewhere else? Hey, go. Out of here. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Here we go. I forgot to grab out my mineral veil. Okay. Hey. So sorry. Okay. So, they used to sell their blushes in everything came in like little pots. And so their blushes would come in little pots, but what was really cool about these is because they were minerals, you could mix these with lip gloss, and so you could get your blush to match your lips. Come on. And I'm not gonna disappoint y'all because I'm gonna do that. I am going to do that. Alrighty, so I'm going to take this fruit cocktail, and I distinctly remember being so happy to get my hands on this because there were some that were very popular, and I remember fruit cocktail being one. So I'm going to take this little soft focus brush, and I already have some right here in the lid, so I'm just going to swirl, and I'm going to just add this back on the apples of my cheeks. I don't know what I forgot to get. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to turn around and be off camera yet again. Because I completely forgot. We had Warmth, which was the bronzer, which was the original bronzer. It's the bronzer to beat all bronzers. And it's right here. And they also had my Warmth in here. They also later on, when they were still making them in pots, or maybe they'd stopped, and they started putting them in these quads, which were so pretty. Like this one is called the Style Makers, and it had 4 colors in there and a really nice little mirror. So there was like a little brush in there, but these were the 4 colors that they had in these quads. And that was the first time that they had done a pressed powder that I knew of. So, I have a lot of my Bare Essentials in here still. Where is my Warmth? I must have that up here with my bronzers. I really did try to get so organized. It's right here. Okay. All right, I'm set now. Okay. So this was the Bare Minerals, and it was Warmth. And that's exactly what it was called. It was just one. And if there was a lighter one, I didn't know about it. Because this was the only one that I knew. And I remember thinking, holy moly, this looks like cocoa. You know what I mean? When I first got it, but you were just able to blend that right on in. All right, so I picked up my little soft bristle brush here, and I'm just going to work this warm thin. So I can't really, can you see how dark this is? And I was really thinking, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to learn how to blend that in. But as all things were with Bare Essentials, it was easy. They showed us how to do it. They showed us just use very little. All right, so I'm going to go all the places that the sun would kiss me. Oh, I have no idea how many memories this brings back for me. This is so fun. This is so fun. I think I'm going to try to get together with my friend Candace and see if we can put our Bare Essentials collections together and see what we come up with. Between the two of us, we're bound to have everything we need. Between the two of us, we are. All right. So another thing that was really popular, and this was like back the same era, was MAC. And they had this Barbie doll. They had a Barbie like collection, and it was this real pretty pink kind of blush. And I remember buying a very special blush brush. And this was almost kind of like a highlighter. So that's how I used it. It was really light and shimmery. And I just blushed it right over the top. And I think it was the first MAC brush I ever bought. Yeah, pretty sure it was. So I love that. And that was called Pearl Blossom. And it was called a beauty powder. It was called a beauty powder. Of course it was. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So they all of the BareMinerals used to come in pots. And then they kind of sold them. They sold them in sets. Like there was a set called Meet the Browns and the Greens, and there was several different sets. I took a lot of them out of the boxes because I have them stored in like acrylic drawers just for ease of being able to find them, and I have them stored by color family. So I would have to go back online and dig around and see if I could find the actual sets. But one set that I never took out of the box because I loved it. It's called it doesn't have the name on here, but it was like the days of the week, and it has all the days of the week on here. And you pulled it out, and it had a shadow for every day. And my very favorite day was Thursday, and it is this color here. Hold on, I gotta put some readers on. These are the small, kind of little small pots, and I can't tell you how long I used this. Okay, it was just called Thursday, and I think that was the only color it had. It was just called Thursday. And I remember it used to be, because people were such collectors of Bare Essentials, there were these stickers on the bottom of them, and you could peel the sticker off, and it had the name, and pop it on the top. So that way, when you were looking in your collection, you'd be able to see it right off the top of the back. I know. That's some old Bare Essentials history right there. Y'all are welcome. For those of you who didn't live in that era, oh, what you missed out on. Alright, so I'm going to take a little tiny bit more of this Summer Bisque and twirl it around in the lid. And I'm going to apply that to my eyes as a primer, because that's all we had. That is all we had. Where is my little mirror? What did I do with it? Alright, stop looking so hard and you'll see it. Here it is. Okay. Alright. So. Oh gosh. Alright. Oh gosh, and they used to have a little thing on there that said hello. Alright, so I'm just going to apply that Summer Bisque right to my lid area as a primer, just as I would do today with any other primer. And then I'm going to go into my drawer here of light colors, and I'm going to pick up Flawless Diamond. That was one. See, here's what I was telling you. So when it was stored upside down, you could see the color on the bottom. But if you had to store them face up, there was a sticker from the bottom. Genius, I say. Alright. Actually, hold on. I'm going to use the Flawless Diamond in a second. Let me... See, I have them like in little drawers. And I have all of my light, like, highlighter colors all together. Let me just grab one. Alright. I think they must have had one called the Diamond Collection because there's a lot of those diamond ones. I should have just... Okay. I'm going to use Playful. And I'm just going to put some in the lid. And it had like 4 little holes that you could shake out. And I'm going to use the same brush that I use. I am going to break out my other brushes because I don't have a lot of my Bare Essential eye brushes. Bare Essentials was not known for their brushes. They were not great. But their face brushes were okay. I didn't have a ton of them, but they were okay. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and pull up one of my IT brushes and try to get some of this. I must have used this Playful more than I knew because it doesn't want to come out. You know you're in there. I ain't got time to take the lid off. Okay. Playful is almost played out. That's what's happening there. Okay. Alright, here we go. Oh, perfect. Okay, perfect. Alright. Alright, I'm back. Alright, so I'm going to take this color, which is a nice light base color, and it's called Gleam. And I'm going to lay that down from the top to the bottom. It has a tiny bit of sheen to it, but not a ton. Not a ton that you can't lay something down over top of it and it'd be perfectly fine. Okay. Alright. Alright, and then let's do the same with the other eye. See that extra brush hair there? That's why I did keep my Bare Essentials brushes. Okay. Alright. So, there is that. That is my highlight color. And that was Gleam. And I have no idea if these colors are even available anymore. This video is just really kind of about you going back. And I think most of us hold on to our foundations and our makeup and stuff from different eras. So if you have some old makeup that you haven't used in a while, just go back and dig through it and just remember the times that you used it. Remember the times that you did your makeup for a special occasion or, you know, something like that with that makeup. And just kind of brings back memories, you know. And in times like this where some of us are all alone and, you know, some of us are quarantined and stuff like that, I think it's just something kind of fun just to go back and just reminisce. So, okay, this is Thursday, and I don't quite know how to explain this color, but it's almost like an iridescent. I don't know if you can see it from back there. Let me turn it this way. Hold on, let me get the light just right enough. Can you see that? Amazing. Amazing. All right. So, and the way I wore it back then was I laid it down in my crease, and then I just brought it on down. Laid it right down in the crease and brought it right on down. Just wore it over my whole lid like that. See? That was what we did. I don't think there was smoky eyes back then. If there was, I never did one. Oh, okay. And what was really nice about these Bare Essentials, you really couldn't make a mistake. They're so blendable and so easy to use that you really can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong on it. See? There. Alright, and then I'm just going to, because, oh, Lord, a stray bang. I'm going to bring it up on the, Maxine likes it too. I'm going to bring it up on the eye socket bone as I normally do, so that I can have a little less area to highlight when it's all said and done. Alright, And then out of the same kit, I'm going to pick up Friday, which is this really nice like blue color. And I'm going to use that same brush. Hold on, I'm going to hold this up so y'all can see how beautiful it was. And I used these colors. I couldn't tell you how long. Can you see it? Hold on. Can you see the shimmer of that? Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I use these and use these and use these, and they are almost still full. I could use these until the end of time, and I'm still going to have some. That was the thing about Bare Essentials. After you had so many of them, you're just like, well, I'm running out of spots. I'm running out of spots to store them. And I'm not exactly sure when they started making these quads. And I did buy some. They were like the today's special value and stuff like that. But, yeah, I might have 2, 4, 6 of them. And then they had some like eyeliner ones over there that I guess I could grab for an eyeliner. Maybe I'll do that. Okay. So here was like the eyeliner ones. They were small and they just had two little colors in there, and they were usually kind of opposite, so it was nice. So in here I have like a navy and a brown that I can use as a liner. So since I used the navy up on my eye, oh, I forgot, hold on. I wanted to use this diamond color. Oh, I dropped the lid. Just as a little bit of sparkle towards the inside, which is not something that we did back then. Maxine, please go. You can't even put them in timeout. You can't even put them in timeout. They don't listen. They don't listen. Okay. So there's a little bit of playful that I've laid down there. And then I'm going to pick up a liner brush, just a small liner brush, and I'm going to go into this dark color here. It's called Query. And I'm just going to brush that on the right close to my lash line. And then I'm going to put some on the bottom as well. And I don't know that I used a liner until I started using it, because I have a ton of it and Urban Decay liners, but I'm not sure that I ever used a pencil liner until then. Crazy. Crazy how the times have changed. Okay. All right. So there we are. We have our eyes. We have our liners. Now, I do not have any old mascara, and I don't recommend that you do either. So I'm just going to grab my favorite IT mascara, the Superhero IT, and I'm just going to lay a couple coats of that right on down. So let's see. So what mascaras and what type of eyeshadows and makeup and skincare were you guys using like a decade ago, 10 years ago, 12 years ago? Because I was using this when my kids were little, and they're big now. They're in college and out of college. So what were you guys using? And what made you change? Did y'all ever use Bare Essentials? Did you ever use... What were you guys using, like, a decade ago? Were you using this? Were you using something else? Was I just out of the times? Did you buy your makeup from TV? Did you guys do that? Was that just something that I did? I bought my first perfume sitting in my living room because somebody said, it was a philosophy in The Amazing Grace, and I still wear it today, said, everywhere you go, somebody's going to tell you that you smell good. And I was like, I want that. I want it. So I picked up the phone, and back then, and maybe it still is, I don't know, but whatever phone number you called from, QVC knew who you were. So they would say, hi, is, this so-and-so? And you'd say yes. And they say, do you want the item that's on the air? And you'd say, yes. And you say, would you like it on Easy Pay? You'd say, yes. Would you like this on your Q card? You would say, yes. And then you would hang up. And my ex-husband was like, what just happened? First of all, how are you buying a fragrance off of TV? And what were all those yeses? What was happening? Because I just bought it. That's what's happening. And been doing it for years. I can't tell you how long I've been shopping with QVC. Years. Years and years and years. Okay. All right. So now that I have my mascara on, let me open up my Mineral Veil. This is a new one. Oh. All right. Let me open up my Mineral Veil. Put a little bit in the lid, as you both know, and I'm going to pick up my Flawless Face brush yet again. You talk about something that's finely milled and beautiful. You can lay this BareMinerals Mineral Veil down. You could put that on your face for the next 14 years. You're never going to look cakey. You're never going to look like you have on a face full of makeup. And this gives you the most beautiful, luminous, soft. And then they came out with like radiant ones and colored ones, and you just put this right over top of all of your makeup, and it was sealed in. It was locked in. You were set. Now, one of the things that they have, and I use this today, every time I use it, somebody's like, are you sparkly? It was called Gossamer. And this was the white one. It was actually, they called it a face color. I guess it was kind of like an early illuminator, but I use it on my body because it is so beautiful, and it came with this big brush. Here it is. And you only need a tiny bit like that. That's really all you need. And you swirl that around in the lid. And they said you could put this on your face, but I used it like on my chest, and I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Oh. But you could put a little bit up here as an illuminator. This is beautiful on your legs. I don't know if they still make this. I have had this for, I couldn't tell you how long, and I still have a ton of it, and they also had a rose one. Beautiful. Some of my favorite things. Okay, so if you were buying Bare Essentials around this time, you were also buying Philosophy. And Philosophy makes these amazing lip glosses. So what I'm going to do, this was the bubblegum one, and it used to come in a Today's Special Value. It came in every order that you place for the Amazing Grace. It came with perfume, lotion, shower gel, a hand lotion, and this lip balm. Just smelling this makes me go back to, oh my gosh, when did I have my children? 20 years ago? That is what this scent takes me back to. Okay, and as promised, I'm going to take my fruit cocktail, and I'm going to mix it in to this Philosophy lip gloss. I'm just using my finger and a lip brush. Look at that. Come on. There is no more beautiful pink than what I'm doing with my lips. And you could do this with all of the blushes and all of the products. Okay, let me get my mirror out and try not to make a complete mess of it. Y'all ready? It's so beautiful. This makes me so happy. This makes me so happy. I'm so excited about that. And if they still make their lip glosses, I'm not sure they make that original bubblegum one. But if they do, go back and get you some. And if you were one of those people like me who watched BareMinerals like this while they were on QVC, you need to go back and get you some. Okay? All right, so that is it. The only other thing I was going to show you guys from from my Bare Essentials era was this MAC lip gloss. They don't make this anymore. They have something similar, and I bought it, but the tag fell off. But it was called Cinnamon with an S. And I'm telling you, I was going on a business trip back when they had the guy that got on the airplane with the bomb or whatever. And you couldn't take makeup or anything or water or anything. It was that day. I was going to Chicago for a business conference. And that was the first day it happened. And so they took all of our makeup from us, which my makeup cost more than my clothes. So they took all of that stuff from us and checked it or whatever. And we sat on the runway for some reason. I'm sure it has something to do with the security and everything that was in effect then. But we sat on the runway for what I could only imagine was 100 years. And it was so hot. And I had borrowed a wool wrap from a friend because I was going to Chicago. I had borrowed a wool wrap that she had made. And I wasn't about to check that. I wasn't about to check anything. I had everything packed for a carry-on. And they wouldn't let us carry anything on. So I took that wrap and had it because I didn't want anything to happen to it. And it was 1,000 degrees in that fuselage airplane. Is it fuselage? It was hot in there. And the girl that was sitting next to me had this lip gloss on. And her lips looked so moist, and I was so parched because they wouldn't give us any water. They wouldn't give us anything until we got in the air. And then we landed in Atlanta. And Atlanta had a MAC store. So I got my own cinnamon with an S. Look at that. Yeah, I know. Okay, so I could probably go on forever talking about this era of my life and the times that I had and the memories that I had and the girlfriends and I that talked about this makeup because it connects you. It really does. And so I'm going to leave some of this out because I'm going to continue using it again. But I certainly hope that you enjoyed this roll back in time. I certainly hope that if you have some old makeup that brings back some great memories for you, I certainly hope that you dig back through your drawers or dig back through your containers or whatever you have of them and dig them out. Do a little reminiscing this week. I think in the times that we're in now, I don't think it hurts anybody to do a little reminiscing about when times were different. Even like last week or 2 weeks ago when times were different and we could go out of the house. So I think you'll enjoy it. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so down below. And once you subscribe, if you ring the bell, you'll get notifications every time I upload material, which is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays for my Sunday chats. If you're already a subscriber and you stop by to see what is she going to talk about today, thank you. I appreciate you. Until we see each other again, until we chat again, thank you.